Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today as we have come to our target of that $49,700 level. And you can see we're seeing price action above 49,700 and this 100-day moving average. And when we look at what's happening to Ethereum, notice how we're seeing continued strength inside of this channel. And we had this long opportunity yesterday. I talked about this being the area where we can accumulate very nice positions when it comes to Ethereum long trades. And for those in our Discord group, you know, I sent this trade out at 7:25 p.m. yesterday. You can see as soon as we tested this channel for the first time, we entered into this trade, and that's already resulted in massive profits with all of the targets being hit. And we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart and notice how I talked about this 46,180 Satoshi area being a very important level. As soon as we broke down is when we saw the Ethereum to US dollar price come down to this area where I told you guys any sort of price action below this channel in the past has acted as a very good area to enter into Ethereum. And of course, that's exactly what happened yesterday. Now, the question is, has Bitcoin and Ethereum reached its final destination? You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Obeidi. If you appreciate this content, remember to smash this like button. I want to talk about whether or not Bitcoin has reached its final destination and if we're going to see upside, because if we look at what's happening to the traditional markets, the S&P 500 today forming a new all-time high. So I want to talk about what's happening because the DXY is actually breaking down from this 100-day moving average. And so the schematics are starting to show a clear picture of what's happening. You can see we still have fairly light volume, and we all know the path of least resistance when there's low volume is always going to be sideways to a little bit higher. And that's what Bitcoin's price action is showing right now. We talked about the potential of us seeing a consolidation here between the $49,700 and $58,300 level. And at this point, if we want to assume that a recovery operation is intact right now, we want to see Bitcoin stay above 49,700, and we want to stay as far away from that level as possible, because if we want to assume that's the final destination, we want to start heading towards this weekly open around that $56,000 area. But the longer we're above 49,700, the more strength that Bitcoin is going to be hinting at. And so we can get an early idea of the direction Bitcoin wants to go. If we stay above 49,700, we start to come up towards the weekly open, then we could expect the total cryptocurrency market cap to see continued upside, because you can see we are above the monthly open when it comes to the total cryptocurrency market cap, and we are above the 50-day moving average. And it does look like there is a potential we could see continued strength when it comes to altcoins and the total cryptocurrency market cap, which is a very positive thing. And we'll go more into altcoins, but I do want to address the downside scenario. Now, let's say we do come back towards 49,700. We know it's an important level because Bitcoin is telling us it's an important level. You can see price action currently is above that area, and these 4-hour candles have yet to close any 4-hour candles fully below the $49,700 level, and that tells us that this is an important level. And so if we start to see downside action below 49,700 is when I would be looking to see whether or not we're going to see any 4-hour candles start to close fully below 49,700, in which at that point we have the $44,800 level to watch as the next downside target. And so we want to monitor this, but this could potentially be the early signs of a recovery operation, being the fact that we're above 49,700. The true confirmation of that will come if we start to see price action above 56,000, which is currently where the weekly open sits. And of course, if we want to assume continued upside and we want to start talking up a potential top, then we want to get above 58,300, or else this could be a potential area where we do have a top, because we look at the chart here with gold against Bitcoin and we invert this chart. Notice how we are falling below this 50-day moving average for the first time since this bull rally began, and that in 2017 you can see resulted in Bitcoin's price coming into this downward channel against gold. And then of course that ended up being the top of the rally here in December into January of 2018. And so we want to monitor the fact that the gold against Bitcoin price is crossing below this 50-day moving average. And you can see that's the same exact thing happening here with the gold the silver to Bitcoin chart. And so we want to monitor that for Bitcoin when it comes to the downside scenarios. And then I want to take a look at what's happening to Ethereum, because notice how with Ethereum right now, we are coming down to test this major channel support. And we took this long yesterday because we knew that was the first test of this channel support. And we even came below the channel, where we know those are great areas to enter into long positions for Ethereum, as you can see in the past. And so understand that if we continue to see price action above the weekly open at 2,220 US dollars, in my opinion, there is the potential for Ethereum to come back above this channel resistance and test the $2,700 area where we predicted the target of the symmetrical triangle breakout. And so realize that the consolidation of Bitcoin could allow Ethereum to see continued upside, or we could see a consolidation with Ethereum and we start to see upside in other altcoins. Really what we want to monitor with Ethereum is this Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. If we maintain price action above 46,180 Satoshis, then that would make me assume we're going to see further upside and continued highs for Ethereum, because the next target is going to be the 53,000 Satoshi area. And if we see price action below 46,000 Satoshis, then we can assume a consolidation with Ethereum or a potential retest of the channel support. Really, I'm not going to be worried about the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart if we're above 40,000 Satoshis. If we start to come below there, that's where we have the weekly open and we'd have to start showing some signs of concern. But when we look at the total market as a whole, you can see we're seeing very nice price action right now with the body of this candle above the 50-day moving average. We only came to test below the 50-day moving average with this bullish wick. And so this candle closes in 2 hours. If we stay above the 50-day moving average, which is where the monthly open is sitting, right at that $1.82 trillion market cap, then that could show a sign that we're going to see strength with the cryptocurrency market, because so far with the traditional markets, we are seeing new highs with S&P 500. So that could be hinting that we're going to see continued strength here for the total cryptocurrency market cap. And we know that others' dominance has been the best beneficiary of the total cryptocurrency market cap increasing, because you can see we came here with a bullish retest of the previous weekly open, but we're back above this ascending support level that was the start of the altcoin cycle in January. And so that's very positive for altcoins, and I think we will continue to see altcoins prevail. And with Bitcoin dominance, you can see we are still below the weekly open, testing the 50% dominance level. If 48% breaks, that's when we'd have to look at potential downside targets of 35% dominance, which would be an extremely insane shift of capital. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a shift. It could also just be additional capital coming into the market, but really just going into altcoins and not Bitcoin for us to see this dominance chart drop. So there's two ways it can come down. If Bitcoin's market cap is being sucked with altcoin market caps, or if Bitcoin's market cap stays the same, but altcoin market caps increase and see more of the new institutional capital and retail investors come in to altcoins versus Bitcoin. And so we want to monitor the Bitcoin dominance chart. And then, of course, let's quickly cover what's happening here to traditional markets. So you can see that the DXY, we are breaking this 100-day moving average. That is something that we want to monitor, because that could make us assume that we're going to see continued upside in traditional markets. And really, if we stay below 91.015, that's going to be the early hints that we are going to see continued downside, potentially back towards the 89.562 area for the DXY. We really want to monitor this, because if in the next couple of days after the weekend we see this continue to the downside, then that could invalidate this inverse head and shoulder pattern, and that would assume that we'd see continued downside for the DXY. But it's interesting that we closed right here below the 20-week moving average. So that's just a puzzle piece on the table. We already saw a bullish break of the 20-week moving average. So closing below it today is an interesting puzzle piece, and the S&P 500 closing with new all-time highs today, another interesting puzzle piece. We'll have to see what Monday brings us here in traditional markets. You can see gold testing the 20-week moving average here, closing the week bullishly, breaking this massive resistance that dates back to the top here in August of 2020. And so if we break the 20-week moving average right around that big even of 1800 for gold, we could see continued upside here. And with that being said, if we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, notice how the Poloniex chart, we are showing price action above the 200-week moving average. This is very, very interesting to watch, because if next week's candle opens and we test this 200-week moving average, we want to hold in order to assume continued upside for Ethereum. And then Japan closing the market back above this major support level, which is a positive thing. This is the largest international market. So things aren't looking too bad as we close the week. This could be the worst of it. And I think that Bitcoin showing price action and strength above 49,700 is going to be the early hints of a recovery operation. And with that being said, I do want to give away one of my favorite books on investing. If you want to win, Principles by Ray Dalio, comment below and share this video and you'll have a chance to win. I'm going to go ahead and pick a winner from our video yesterday, and we will wrap up this video. I have an early flight and I have a lot to do today, so sorry if I was a little bit everywhere today. Thomas Fern won the book. Go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And to summarize once again, 49,700, if we want to assume that's the final destination, then we want to see continued price action above that level, and the confirmation comes above the weekly open that we're going to see continued strength for Bitcoin. As long as we stay above 49,700, there's a high chance we come up to 56,000 to retest this weekly open and also test this 50-day moving average. And so assuming a consolidation here, I think, is the highest probable case. And then if we break 49,700, that's when we need to be watching the $44,800 level, which is extremely key here. And then with Ethereum, of course, I am going to assume further strength as long as we're above 46,000 Satoshis. That is very positive. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, snipers out.